Hi, this is Justice. In this second part to the Brush Creator series, we're going to be going over shape and grain, this panel up here at the top. Now in the last one we talked about what settings for the properties panel we should have these set up when we're making a brush, or what works best. What settings in the visual panel will affect your impasto depth and the appearance of your brush, as well as settings here in preferences inside the default curve editor for paint, mix, and blend. So if you understand all that stuff, then you're ready to move on. If not, go ahead and watch that video. It'll really help you get an idea of what you need to do in order to start making a brush in a way where you understand all the settings and you enjoy the process. All right, so let's start with, we're going to choose a watercolor brush. And as a quick reminder, right here, this is going to reset our brush changes. This one is going to save our changes, so you're going to save this version, and it will overwrite the default settings. And this one will duplicate this. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab this liner right here. Okay, we're going to duplicate the brush preset, and we're going to drag it up here. For this tutorial, we're going to drag it into my brushes. We're going to put it right here. Now, as we get started, there's a couple things I want you to do. Bring the water down, the opacity all the way up, and the size right around 50. This will give us the ability to go up and down using the panel over here, the one we're going to be using more often, as opposed to having everything maxed out or at its minimum state over here in the brush creator. So this will help you make better brushes quicker. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at, and we have paint selected here. What we're going to look at is the shape and grain. We're going to go through here and make sure we set all of these to none and their basic settings. So you can keep grain smoothing turned on. We're going to turn these to 0, and we'll keep that off. You can turn DPI on, that's fine. And then everything else is 0, 0, 0, 0. Let's put our max size at 300. Opacity, we're going to put at 0. We're going to click the curve editor, and we're going to bring size to 0 so we understand what that does. And we're going to use these settings and adjust them one at a time throughout this Brush Creator tutorial series. All right, now we have a shape. This circle right here is our first shape. These are 512 by 512 PNG images, and these you can make yourself very easily and import right here. That looks like this. We're going to make a circle. We're going to select it, and we're going to use a rectangle selection tool right here. We're going to open up shape. We're going to click import selection, and now we have a new brush shape. So easy, right? You can do the exact same thing for grain. Okay, now if I draw here, you can see that circle. The circle is overlapping all but 12%. That means it's 88% overlapped. Now this grain, what this is going to do is this is going to filter what passes through of this shape. So here, because this is fully white, it's like a fully clear lens over a flashlight. You can see everything. Now if we bring this here, oh, and we need one more setting here. We need to bring this water down. Okay, and then here, if we pick a darker one here, it's going to be like a dark lens over a flashlight, and only a little bit's going to come through. If you have a unique shape, like this maple leaf here, and let's bring the spacing up to 100. What 100 means is that this square is going to be next to itself over and over. We need to turn glaze off. So you can see our maple leaf is cutting into this shape right here. All the overlapping sections have the maple leaf pattern. Again, what we're looking at, white is letting information through, and dark is blocking information from coming through. If we invert right here, you can see we get the exact opposite. If we put these on top of each other, they would fill in the blanks for each other. All right, so we're going to go back. We're going to select plain, gray, 255. 255 is in reference to its opacity level. And here we can see this very nicely. Okay, so this image, let's make a new one. Let's make a little arrow. And we're going to clear the layer. Make a little arrow pointing left. Best arrow I've ever seen. And we're going to go back over here to our brush and we're going to select the arrow. So let's go here and we're going to import. Our arrow is pointing to the left. Okay, so we're going to deselect. Now when we paint, we should see an arrow pointing to the left over and over again. And now if we flip horizontally without doing any extra work, our arrow is going to point the other side of the horizontal flip. And this invert is going to do exactly what it did over here in grain. So we're going to put that back. We can rotate this again and get arrows facing all sorts of different directions. Now, if you want to control that manually, then we're going to go to rotate, pen tilt, and now when we put the brush on the screen and we tilt our stylus, you can see that we can get it to tilt exactly the direction we want using this property. Now we're going to turn this off for now. If you want to create more or import more shapes and grains, then you can go here. There's Show Library folder. Here inside of brushes, you have the option for shapes and grains. You can see all of these in here. You can mass select them and delete them this way, or you can import them this way also. New in 5.1.1, you can drag and drop a zip file of brushes from the website directly on top of Rebelle, and then on restart, it will import them for you. So you have those available to you. All right, so let's clear the layer, and we're going to look at these settings right here. So 1 of 1, this is information. If I add a second image, let's go ahead and we're going to rotate this, and let's add another one and rotate it, and add another one and rotate it. I think we have to go up. And this order is not quite what I want. So let's make this first one left, second one up, third one right, and fourth one down. All right, so now these are in a sequential order. That means as we go here, they're just going to loop left, up, right, down, left, up, right, down. We can delete them right here, and we can change how the order is selected. Random. Shouldn't use any explanation. And pen pressure is going to use pen pressure to decide which one to do next. Now, we can see a couple interesting anomalies right here. All of these, there's overlapping. There's 2 images being shown at once. So what causes that, as soon as we choose either pen pressure or pen tilt, we're going to have another option down here, image sequence. This is image 1, left, up, right, down. Now, if we want there to be a transition from left to up, but not one from up to right or right to down, we're going to leave a black gap here. So you can see it transitions, but there are no transitional elements over here. It just transitions directly from up to right to down. But here, where we have this black space, you can see there's some overlap. So let's go ahead and we're going to put these like this. Now, if you're making something like a leaf brush or something where you don't want overlapping images, then this is important to note that you can use this right here, this image sequence adjustment, in order to make sure you have no ghosting of 2 images at the same time. All right, let's clear and let's choose pen tilt. Now, pen tilt is interesting. This is going to be left, this is going to be up, this is going to be right, and this is going to be left. Right. And this is going to be right. Keep in mind that this image sequence right here is kind of like an arc. So you have tilt going out, and if you have your image sequence right here, or you have all of them here, 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 and here, and that would look kind of like this. You can see you'd have most of them over here in the tilt range, and then the last one takes up the rest of the tilt. So it might be all the way the other side that's uncomfortable for your hand. So keep in mind the image sequence, the placement affects where they sit inside of tilt. All right, guys, that's it for the second part to the Brush Creator series. In the next video, we're going to be going over pressure, and we're going to be talking about the curve editors here in Rebelle 5. We're going to talk about these curves here inside of preferences, these curves as well in the next video. So stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next one.